Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. And this watch is a grade 5 titanium limited edition launched for 2020, made in only 10 pieces. From Bethune, this is the DB28 XP Tourbillon High Beat. So the watch, effectively a 10th anniversary tribute to the original GPHG Aiguidor winning DB28, but with the XP platform for extra plot. It is thinner than the other DB28s. So the watch is fairly large, but it wears easy. 43 millimeters in diameter, 9.6 millimeters thick as I measure it. The floating lugs are variable geometry, so at full compression, they are 50.7 millimeters across the wrist. At full extension, 54.3 millimeters, with a 26 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Being almost all titanium and sapphire, this is a very light watch to wear. Extremely comfortable. It wears well on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and the more of my wrist you could see, the more obvious that is. I could recommend it for a wrist of my size or larger, and then you can see in profile it will easily slide under a cuff. The lugs are variable geometry, so you can see they conform to the shape of your wrist. That's a patented feature, and one that will make it easier to wear this watch on a smaller wrist. The strap has blue textile on the top. There's a gusset sewn in to prevent gouging, and then turning it over, you can see there's calf skin on the back. This is a Bethune strap made by the company's OEM supplier, Jean Rousseau of Paris. We have pull-tab spring bars. You can pop that strap off without a tool. And then we have the Bethune branded matching grade 5 titanium buckle. And at Bethune, buckles often match the design of the watch. So you see these lugs and that buckle, clearly designed parallelism. This little torpedo cap or the bullet shape or the ogival cone, that is a design trait that has been consistently on Bethune watches through the years since the very first 2002 DB1 chronograph, and with a few exceptions in the early DB20 series and the Dream watches, these have been present on all models through the years. One interesting feature of the XP, not featured on the standard DB28, is the use of lathe engraving on the case. So Bethune calls this microlight, and it's a type of engine turning that's designed to be contemporary. So you have this lovely engine turned case, and note it's a monoblock, as there is no separate bezel here. Everything loads through the case back. So here, the mid case and the bezel are all one part. You can also see the ebb and flow of the polished portion of the bezel as it runs around the case. Now we have here a media blasted and beveled and knurled screw-down crown, 30-meter water resistance. The screw-down crown is really there to prevent interaction of the crown with the lugs, so it's securely fastened so these things won't interfere with each other and cause damage. Also, taking a quick look at the case here, Bethune makes its dials, its movements, and its cases in-house. So like FP Journe, which is a small brand but fully integrated vertically, Bethune is fully integrated vertically. It makes about 330 watches a year, but it makes all of these important parts in-house. So you're getting a watch that is all Bethune. On the dial, we have this lovely barleycorn or Grand d'Orge type cut, and that is real guilloche. That's not the stamped kind. We have polished and fired titanium hands, and then a polished and fired titanium hour track outboard. We also have a fired blue titanium balance wheel and matching bridge. You can also see that there's a chapter ring surrounding the tourbillon, and don't worry, I'm going to fire it up, but I wanted you to see the tourbillon before I do. Note the company's silicone escape wheel design for minimal friction and reduced mass. This tourbillon carriage, which has 63 parts, it is the world's lightest, and it has a mass of only 0.18 gram, or 18 hundredths of a gram. It's made of white gold, the mass is in the balance, titanium, the balance itself, and also silicon, and it has a patented hairspring curve that's thin like a flat hairspring, but also breathes concentrically like an overcoil. And while it does say seconds below it, it also says 30 above. This is a 30-second tourbillon. It beats at an El Primero style, 36,000 vibrations per hour or 10 beats per second, and it makes 2 turns per minute. For the sake of chronometry, that is optimized, both in terms of beat rate and circuit speed. So at Bethune, tourbillon regulators are generally adjusted so that they're gaining between 1/3 and 1/2 second a day. They are chronometry-oriented tourbillon regulators. And the balance wheel is also patented, so this watch protected by no fewer than 6 individual patents. you have to wind it a little bit. It has 2 mainspring barrels, and they are self-adjusting, also patented. So though it's manual wind, you cannot accidentally overwind it, and that's very important. The whole movement's 30 millimeters in diameter, so it fills the case properly, and it pivots on 33 joules. We're going to get very close now, and you can see the speed of this tourbillon blazing away at 5 hertz, 10 beats per second, making 2 circuits per minute. Turning it all over, you could see the planets. Now this also includes fired titanium, and you can see these little titanium cabochons have been placed in drillings, creating the image of the planets as they stood when de Bethune was established in 2002. So this is a moment caught in time. And pardon me, not 2002. This is the GPHG Aiguidor. So this is actually the position of the planets on the night in 2011 when de Bethune won the Aiguidor, or Best Picture at the Oscars of Watchmaking, and they won it with the DB28. The DB28 XP series, the extra plot, these were all created as a sort of decade anniversary series to take the DB28 through its next chapter, and its next chapters proved to be ultra-thin profiles and smaller cases with the XS. And so it started with the XP back in 2020, but the 28 started in 2010, soon to be honored, and turned into an icon at the GPHG. This is one hell of a watch. You can see why I love de Bethune timepieces. I don't editorialize much, but I find that with de Bethune you get some of the world's coolest watches in the coolest packages. It's for people who are into style and for people who are into engineering. It's the best of both. Left and right brain. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.